Sending ravens. How's everybody doing? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I just smudged in here. It smells beautiful. I used some sage and some special ingredients. I got a little cedar in there. And yeah, whew, what a week. It's been a crazy week already, and it only just got started. I don't know about you guys, but things are feeling really intense. So I thought I'd better touch base with everybody and have a little check-in with what I call the silent war, the information war. It feels like things are really sort of just bubbling under the surface, and all of these strange little coincidences are happening, like weird little things, and even like lots of misinformation. Like daily we're getting reports about what all these people are doing, and of course then there's the other side of it where apparently these people are supposed to be on house arrest. For instance, let's start with Ellen Degeneres. Okay, so Ellen, so we've been seeing Ellen literally break down on her Instagram for months, okay, and what appeared to be, it appeared like she was on house arrest, and that's what we got in the cards as well. It also appeared like she was going through withdrawal from, the adrenochrome possibly, and or a substance as bad as that anyway, or substance abuse of some kind, but she literally looked like she was falling apart. Okay, and her show, just everything started tanking. People started coming out with all kinds. It was like she was having the worst time of her life, it seemed, in the last couple of months. And all kinds of things were coming out about her and her show and how she treats people and who she really is. Just like 2020's been like this wake-up call for all kinds of people. She was almost like the poster person of that movement towards who you thought this person was and who they actually are. Like she was literally the perfect example of that, right? So all of a sudden, her show's back on track. Supposedly, they're going to be filming her show. So they said it was all shut down. Now they're filming it again. So misinformation, we don't know. Are they really? Like, are they going to go ahead? Is she actually going to be allowed to film her show? Like, what on earth is going on? Or is that something they're putting out there, the media? Because don't forget who owns the media, right? How much longer are we going to have to put up with misinformation? When will we start hearing real truths? Is everything we're hearing misinformation, right? Like, is everything just going to go back to normal? Like, I'm starting to worry because I don't want to go back to, like, we've been red-pilled, and I really can't see humans ever putting up with the kind of unbelievable debauchery and heinous kind of activities, that we've discovered goes on in Hollywood, just for instance, right? And that's just one place. I mean, in the Vatican, I've known that since the beginning of time, that anything connected to the Catholic Church is a big inversion of demonicness. I figured that out when I was just a kid, because I knew it from past lives. But we're starting to see that actually a lot of things that we thought were good in our life are actually the very same, connected to deep, dark, demonic activities, and people that rise to huge fame. There's only one way to get to that kind of fame. They need to be involved in that group of people who do those heinous things. I like to call them subhumans, because you can't be a human. It takes lifetimes to evolve to get to call yourself a human. This is what I've figured out. You don't get to call yourself a human if you're behaving that way towards other humans. That is not human behavior to me, right? So I think those people are subhumans, and that's maybe where some of those stories of lizard groups of people that come from lizards, or maybe there really are lizard people or a whole race of people that shape shift. I mean, that is possibly true. In fact, that's going to be one of our questions. later, right? Are there lizard people here who shapeshift into humans? Is that a thing, right? Because so many things are proving themselves to be true. But I want to start with Ellen, because she's sort of a big example of, we thought everything was going a certain direction with her, and all of a sudden this information comes out that looks like her show gets booted up again. Is that true? Is that misinformation? Where did that information come from? Let's have a look and just see, is there any truth to that story about her show coming back on? Because I don't think I could stomach Ellen DeGeneres after everything we've seen and her behavior on Instagram and just everything we know. You know, who's going to watch it? Okay, so let's have a look. Well, Ellen's coming up the justice card, which is, she's in some kind of legal trouble, is what I'd figure. The justice system, yeah. So she's in some kind of legal trouble, and it's badly aspected with that 9 of Wands. So she's in some kind of trouble that feels like it's repressive and hard to navigate, let's just say that. She's very depressed. We've got that Queen of Cups and really feeling sorry for herself, frankly. Okay, so the show is coming up, going forward. Will the show go forward? We've got the Knight of Cups. So we've got the Knight of Cups. I wonder if they filmed some of this at a different time and they're going to try to pull off putting forward some of her old footage, because this feels like there's a young guy who's really keen on his job here, it looks like, who really wants to. I think they have a couple of months worth of filming that they might have done in the past. We've got the King of Wands, so in the past they did this already, so this film footage has already been created somehow, and they may go forward just to keep things rolling. Okay, and possibly even looking at this, we've got the Chariot for business sake. So it's a business. Don't forget that they pay a lot of money. Like, these people are under contract. So even if Ellen herself isn't personally available, if they've got some footage, and it looks like they do, they're going to put forward some of her old footage, it looks like. 6. And don't forget, a lot of what they're doing it's apparently all going to be Ellen interviewing people on what I think is going to be like a Zoom format. And don't forget what we've been discovering about Zoom. We've been discovering that it's really, really easy, and or products like Zoom, that it's really, really easy to fake stuff. Okay, there's all kinds of deep fake stuff going on. So they've got old footage of Ellen, and they're going forward with a couple of months worth. Okay, so they're just going to get through a couple of months, it looks like, worth of what's going to appear to be Ellen doing her show. It's not in real time. She's not literally there. Wow. So that's important for us to know. That's important for us to know. There's a lot of, I feel like there's a lot of this may not even go forward. I still feel like there's a lot in place that wants to stop that from going forward. But powers that be, so they've got legal contracts, they've got a lot of money invested, you know what I mean? So somebody's really pushing for this not to go forward, but they're also really pushing hard for this to go forward. So if you do see some of these shows, really look carefully, because you could be looking at a deep fake, it looks like. Has anyone heard anything about Ellen's marriage lately? I haven't heard anything, but it looks like it's in really big trouble. You know, I mean, I guess if she's in that kind of trouble that I believe she's in, you know, this would cause a lot of trouble in your marriage. But I'd like to ask if her wife is involved in some of the dark activities that I believe she's involved in. Let's have a look. Ellen's wife. I'm curious about her. I mean, it makes sense that she'd also be involved, but let's ask. Wow. Okay, so right away when I saw these cards, I got the distinct impression that Ellen Degeneres paid a lot of money for her wife to appear to be in love with her and her wife. It was all an arrangement. She was a bought and paid for partner. Now, I know that a lot of marriages are like that, more so than we believe, more so than we know. I've been reading cards for a huge clientele for 35 years. And by the way, by Christmas, I'll be done doing that. Sorry, everybody. Yeah, so if you go to my website and you can't go past, there's a few days in December, might still be available, but maybe not. I'm not reading for individuals anymore because I've been doing it for 35 years. I want to just do film. I just want to film. Yeah, so sorry about that, everybody. But I saw a lot of this. Like, this happens way more than we know, where people just make an arrangement with somebody and there's no love involved whatsoever. There's no love here. This was an arrangement. She was paid very handsomely to parade around as Ellen's wife. Okay, this was just a big arrangement, big secret arrangement. They probably had completely separate secret lives. And we saw a little glimpse of that when somebody, shortly after Ellen on her show, described meeting Archie, so Meghan and Harry's child, Archie, meeting Archie and talking about holding her and how her and her wife, so Ellen and her wife, went and paid a visit to Meghan and Harry and got to hold Archie, blah, 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 right? Some little story she told that turned out to be completely false. Okay, she didn't have any of the details right? So why did she bother? Okay, but anyway, and then somebody separately asked Portia, like days later, right, about it, and she knew nothing about it. So they obviously don't talk much, touch base, or might not even actually technically live in the same dwelling, right? That's how they do, okay? So don't be surprised if their love life doesn't even exist, doesn't look, it's all bought and paid for. It's a big secret to present a certain way. They thought it would look better somehow for her reputation or something, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, certainly didn't swing me one way or the other. Okay, so here we've got the Four of Swords. These two are absolutely not together now. No, I don't even think they're speaking. Okay, let's see. But we asked, was Portia also in the deep, dark cult? She does look like she was, but not to the degree. I feel like Ellen was much more involved. Portia's like in there about 50% with that card. Dabbled. She was a dabbler, and I'm not saying that's okay. It's not okay, right? If you even know people doing these kind of heinous things to other humans, and consuming something that would come literally from the pain and anguish and torture of children, babies, and or humans. Okay, so that substance that we're pretty sure Ellen's certainly involved in. Okay, we've got the Three of Swords. I feel like some of it was too much for Portia, but I'm not cutting her any slack on that. Like, it's disgusting that she would even be remotely, like, even involving herself in this is just somebody who puts money ahead of their love. Like, they're going to sell themselves, but don't kid yourself. A lot of people do that. They're just bought and paid for partners, and that happens just in everyday life too. Yeah, but anyway, she wasn't as involved, but she knew of it and got herself somewhat involved, and it looks like she walked when things got really disgusting. But I'm still not cutting her any slack, right? Okay. Yeah, we need to call these people up on, silence is not okay. If you know somebody who's involved in this kind of activity, we need to talk about it. This needs to come out. Okay, now I'm going to look around. What I call subhumans. Is there a race on the earth plane that shapeshifts and, where people get the idea that there's this lizard race? Now, I'm just going to tell you a little story. I was actually involved with a family and actually dated their son. So I had this family that were my clients. And I won't say much more than that because, private confidentiality, whatever. But I'm pretty sure they were a non-human bunch, frankly. I got up close and personal with this couple and their son, and I'm thinking they were non-humans energetically. They were the closest to that I've ever come in contact with. So tell me stories in the comments. Fascinating. Anyway, I sort of escaped that by the hair on my chinny chin because my intuition went, get away. Something's weird. Okay, so let's have a look at, is that a thing, or are some people just weird energetically and they seem like that? Is there actual shapeshifters that parade around as humans? Now, even Diana, Princess Diana, said the queen was, and or the monarch, her in-laws were non-humans. I mean, she referred to that many times, I believe. And who was it? Some other really famous people say that they've seen the queen shapeshift. Like there's stories out there, and not just the queen. Like lots of people, and maybe entire families full of these people. So let's have a look and just see it. What truth is there to that? Is that all just a story, or? Okay. David Icke's been talking about that for years and years. And I think, and I can't remember if this is actually true or not, but I've been told that he revealed himself to be also a non-human self who could shapeshift as well. And somebody even said there was film footage of him shapeshifting. Now, let me know in the comments if you know anything about that. I never saw that, and I've never heard him say that, right? But I don't know. fascinating. So some of these shapeshifters apparently don't use their energy in a bad way, right? And there could even be different groups of them, some good ones. So there's supposed to be this good group and then this bad group. So some gray lizards, some Dracos. I don't know, like, I don't know the details of this. So I'm not gonna try to pretend I do. Okay. So we've all heard the stories though, and if anybody watches David Icke's work, they would have heard these stories, and lots of other people talk about it as well. On the Dark Outpost, there's even a woman that goes on there, I forget her name now, and says she believes she's of a bloodline that comes from these shapeshifters, and she was never trained to use her energy, but she can feel it, and there's a whole blood sort of type connected to it, apparently a very rare blood type, and that most of the royal families have the blood type. So we looked into that a little bit, Guy and I, and it was interesting, right? And a lot of people said, well, they have that blood type as well. But this woman would explain that. She goes on the Dark Outpost. She says, well, yes, she does belong to this blood type, and they have this potential, but unless it's realized through ritual and brought out and you're trained to use it, it's dormant. So that was interesting. That's interesting. Anyway, let's have a look. So we've got the 9 of Cups here. So the thing itself. So the 9 of Cups. 9 of Cups. A wish come true. A wish come true. And we've got the King of Pentacles as the thing itself. The thing itself. So are they real? And the 8 of Wands. Well, it's some version of what we know. It's some version because we've got the 8 of Wands. I think it's still revealing itself, and I think there's still a lot for us to know about this energetically. But I think it's still revealing itself because we've got this 8 of, I feel like the more we're okay with hearing about it and knowing about it with that 9 of Cups, I almost think if we want to know, we'll be shown. It's basically spiritually, if you feel ready, you will be shown and it will be made clear to you who they are. Even your intuition will tell you. I feel like it does feel like it's true. There's no blocked cards here that say no. The Emperor would show up, or some crossover cards, or this feels like a yes, but way more to it than what we've been told, right? With that 8, we know some of it, but there's more to know. It looks like there's more to know. I feel like David Icke has a very big part of it. He's revealed a very big part of it. That just came to me just now. Okay, we've got the 4 of Pentacles. Yeah, as people are ready to know, it'll be revealed, and it's slow because it's shocking. It's shocking to think we live amongst, well, I'm going to say subhumans, and other energetic beings that aren't human souled, right? So there's so much more to the world, and we're just discovering it. It's almost horrifying and scary. It's like, whoa, right? So we got to stay really grounded, okay? We've got the 5, so advice around it. We've got the 5 of Pentacles and the Strength card. 5 of Pentacles, letting things go. You know what? I feel like that's saying, don't absorb this information slowly and don't go too fast with it, because it's going to be shocking. And as things reveal themselves, I feel like we have to take this slowly. When we're ready to know, human race will know that amongst us it feels like there's all kinds of energies and energetic beings. Wow. I feel like we're walking amongst all kinds. There's so much more to know here. All right. So we're just discovering it, and it's kind of like revealing itself as we're ready. And we're not quite altogether ready, according to that card. As a human race, we're not quite ready to know this. Okay. Yeah. So I asked, how do we prepare ourselves? Because we're going to know this stuff. This is all going to reveal itself. It feels like it's 2020 has brought this floodgate of information. And over the next few years, I don't think we'll ever be able to go back to not knowing things. Like, I really don't think that, I don't even think it's possible for us to dumb down again. And I'm hoping that's true. I'm hoping that's, certainly I don't feel like I'll be able to. Once you know some of this stuff and you feel it, you can't go backwards and pretend you don't know stuff. You know what I mean? Okay, so we've got the Queen of Pentacles here. So ask the universe to reveal, let the universe know that you're ready to know and you're ready to see more, right? I feel like you'll start to notice and see signs of who is that persuasion and who isn't. I feel like as you're ready, so tell the universe you're ready and willing to accept the knowledge. Knowledge is evolution to me. And I think we're evolving as a race, but at individual paces